You are watching Liberty Online TV.
This is Liberty Online TV powered by Orange Sierra Leone.
Orange.
For the news with the around, log into Liberty TV online. Positively we bring the change. They get the masses involved. Staffs them everywhere. We climb the mountain just to get the news. We go down the slums to get the views. Voices down. Credibility, now we ability. News, give you the views, the tell where you want them. Government issues, democracy, now we not the answer. We human them, girl picking, there's a get the power. He count on me, he count on me anyhow. Give you the news, give you the views, the tell where you want them. Government issues, democracy, now we not the answer. Human them, girl begin the security power. Make it call me, count on me anyhow. Liberty we ride, like a nigga we fly. Liberty TV day before. Climb the mountain just to get the news. Go down the slums to get the views. Voices down. Give the news, give the views, the tell where you want them. Government issues, democracy, now we not the answer. We human them, girl picking, let's get the power. He count on me, he count on me anyhow. Give the news, give the views, the tell where you want them. Government issues, democracy, now we not the answer. We human them, girl begin, let's get the power. Make it call me, count on me anyhow. We speak free and fearless, inclusive journalism. Speak free and fearless, inclusive journalism. For the news with the around, log into Liberty TV online. Positively we bring the change. They get the masses involved. Staffs them everywhere. We climb the mountain just to get the news. We go down.
A very good afternoon and welcome to Liberty Review. They come to you from Liberty Online Television. Every Friday, 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock, so we look at the front pages of the newspapers and story them will make deadlines at different newspaper different newspaper and radio stations around the country. My name is Alex Lawrence. Kuruma one for big party. No, they are so for the past 2 weeks because of one or two reasons. But we are now with Master Sabi people them. Like always, we bring people them way nobody news. People the way they move around the news, people that will play with the news. We can bring in newspaper editors, we can bring in civil society activists. But today we decide for bringing people that don't be into journalism and decide for join the public sector and come back at the media landscape or go back to the private media practice. So for the very first time now this program, I want to welcome John Bemba Sise, in a media and communication specialist. A very good afternoon, sir.
Thank you so much, Alex.
John don't serve as press attaché, so he go to the public sector. He don't work for the UN. And now he into private consultancy where they do, and they work for a private a project where also they do very well. John has seen a colleague, don't they? At the newspaper wall for a very long time. Now they will copy from. So today I bring up for like and discuss professionalism in politics. So I don't know I get for if it's a PC or it's a PP, I don't know. Don't lie to singer, so you get it right to say, of course. Mohamed Elban, a lawyer, and now been journalist. Now we're into the government sector. Very good afternoon, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Elba don't dig in this space for a very long time. You know, now one who can meet up to with the report, with the left, so you look at me going to the government side, try to join the public sector. He present to work for one public institution, and he also actively participate in media activity. And as large member, they're all as large members. So that makes us then a journalist them. So then take them off the field, even though they go take them position in this. So this afternoon, then they are so for we look at some of the front page them and some of the stories them we don't they're in a different radio station and television or seen a newspaper. So until then the presenter and not or the reporter and not can do it like you want for hearing. So now we can bring them people here to ask them question. So tell the story where he say, this writer for don't go this way, I want to let go this way. So we can bring the expert here so we can kind of ask them for broaden the discussion. And you also can add your own voice to the program. You can send a comment now the different platform the way they get to this afternoon. I want to start with exclusive newspaper where they say 2028 election victory is pauper. Then they quote the SLPP chairman, who they say, then believe say they forget victory by all kind of way. According to the story where I read, I want to start with John Bemba before I come to the government man because now they don't say the statement. Or let's start to Elba. Now they not the government. Now you know so and Elba now one way the contest belong in of course publicly. He didn't the Salon People's Party. He be contest for a position, but again, that not the affecting professionalism in politics on another side. So why can't John ask if he publicly is a member of a political party? So now I ask that the pauper chairman, they say pauper. All kind of for win the 2028 election. According to the writer, now he meets with and get to the president, where it reecho some of the senior president Bill say the party will prepare for take up the election because they believe say the APC not ready. And one word the writer used that the APC not too serious for take up leadership. You believe say una go able win the 2018 election, whether by all means or by the vote?
Thank you very much. I believe say we need to look at the word pauper from a historical perspective. Beside the word originate from, wouldn't be the intention of the word and how that word they don't resonate deeply within the SLPP before we go for put into context and understand the true meaning and intention of why that particular word, the come of how it born and and all of that. Historically, prior to the 2018 elections, the now president we actually, together with, in team by then in coin that particular word, the pauper salon for better. So that not be the intention. Somebody else can able for use the word pauper for fit in narrative, which is okay, you understand. We all know for sensational headlines for make sure say newspaper sell and get some eye-catchy headlines. Everybody can get your own writing skills, how you can coin most of the headlines, banner headlines, but that it don't necessarily mean say we then say 2020 election victory is pauper. Means say the current ruling government intend for do things them way they out of the way. For example, for Winam hook or crook, you understand? No, that is not the intention. And also not forget for understand say Usai, the chairman, made that statement. He made that statement in front or during a gathering of SLPP executive leaders, you understand? And then when they get in retreat. So he was, but from putting really a deduce from that it been a try as best as possible for energize, the party faithfuls that it's an election that we should win. You understand? So proper in the sense that we all for come on board, get we own acting together, make sure we play with your individual roles despite the small indifferences where they encourage people for come together. That's not the intention. It is not to say that the SLPP will do everything, like for say hook or cook, then for do any bad thing, sort of, for make sure they can happen. No, that was never the intention. So, for example, other political parties as well can say this election a must win for we. What do they mean? That should not be misconstrued for say that we go win by all means, or we go do bad for the winner. Well, for say for rogue or intimidate other people or do bad thing for win the election. No. So I think it's just context here. The word pauper, of course, I don't tell you. Now, it was just calling that paupers alone for better. It was not really said out of any intention for make sure say we do bad thing there or pauper by hook or crook, even if, and against the will of the people. Let's just put an away there. No, that is never the intention. The intention is to energize the basis, ensure that we encourage the chairman, encourage the people that then for do the all in ensuring that the election, the 2028 election, is a must win for the SLPP.
So many times I'm hoping some of the experts also talk to now. So one thing for say clear now the word proper even for clear. So but if you say the SLPP going to win an election 2028.
Yes, I believe.
Because the whole idea about the right side, what the chairman they say, even when they quote the president that SLPP will win the next election.
Yes,
he believes SLPP will win the next election.
Yes. So in continuation on that, you understand, the chairman believing that the 2018 election is a possibility for the SLPP winner, encouraging in people, especially district chairman, constituency chairman, regional chairman, for make sure so everybody who's they do what he's supposed to do for ensure say the 2018 election is a victory. You understand, for the SLPP. So now coming to a question. Yes, I believe 100% that there's a possibility for the SLPP win this election, the 2028 election, because to a very large extent, despite the seeming challenges we face as a country, and despite the fact, there are things where we're able to address it, that are just the honest fact. But I believe we don't address so many things, and we don't set so many agenda in this country, and we don't do a lot as a government, and as a country for make sure say the people give this government another mandate come 2028. I believe that. If you want, we can go into the details, but I believe say the SLPP as a government from 2018 to date has done enormously well for ensure that the people of this country, the people of this country go able to forgive the SLPP another mandate for continued leadership of this country.
The element in the way if you say go make the people then give a back mandate.
Yeah, sure. So if you look at various sectors, you understand the president will come initially making priorities and rights. You understand? And he promised the people in this country say he go make sure say youth people, the youthful population be at the center of in government. They don't deliver on that. Of course, it will make education priority. And we all know the strides that we don't make in regards to the educational sector, the free quality education, the number of students that we don't enroll, the side that we don't expand access to school across the country, the schools that we don't build, and all of that. And of course, the learning materials that we don't, distribute to students, pupils across the board. Then the policies that we don't put in place as well within the educational sector for make sure say it is attractive, inclusive, and bias free. All then did in speak, and we get national benchmarks as well. We don't meet with regards to the educational sector. If you come into infrastructure, for example, you look at the bridges where this president don't construct across this country, connecting the provincial towns to the bigger cities across the country, make sure say them people them farmers will be the harvest them, product them, and the product and the then perishable products then they rot in a village because they don't get access. And how all them bridges and they don't connect, them big smaller towns to bigger cities, and how then they don't they impact livelihood now then communities, and you will find out say a lot has been done with regards to that. You come to the civic space, for example, in Sierra Leone now, we don't, the way we see the civic space, how we don't enjoy the freedom of speech, and look at the policies and how we don't formulate around that, and how people, increasingly they're able to say their minds without being harassed or without being arrested, you understand? For as long as they not broke any law or they not defame person, but freely then they express their views, and the civic space don't open more than ever since in the history of this country. And then did it, you understand? People in this try very well. Coming to 2023 to date, of course, the 5 big game changers. You see what the president doing in agriculture. Of course, massively, we don't reduce importation in certain commodities by at least 10 to 15%. For example, like rice, onions, and other commodities locally. And we don't see how you don't encourage other local farmers. There is an ongoing project at the moment, so they call the Food System Resilient Project under the Ministry of Agriculture. If you go now, upline now, some villages, for example, I'm actually doing a documentary now for them in that regard, and you see the impact of that project in the lives of farmers in those communities. Yes, we don't get there yet, but I will tell you for a fact that the impact is being felt within those local communities by supporting local farmers and identifying. In fact, there's a whole database now in this country where it indicate to you whose side we get a farmer, which kind of crop then they plant, and in case there's a support, without go to that, there's a whole database of all the farmers in Sierra Leone supported by this project. So there's a lot going on at the moment where I believe, say, despite the challenges, I want to tell you the challenges are so many. Even in the next 10 years or 15 years or 20 years, there's a possibility that we might not be able to solve all of these problems. But we want to tell you, say, we have done more than enough for ensure, say, for win the confidence of the people, for give this government another mandate come 2028.
All right, continue for the name Ahmed Elba in our communications specialist. Yeah, that bring John Bemba Sise, we also now a communication specialist, and of course they all are journalists. Them one the newspaper they say 2028 election they say people go win and pauper. Then and Elba just they say with all the challenges, they believe in they win the 2028 election. You believe that I can talk there?
Thank you so much. I probably just want to take way to the paper itself. Not to the paper saying I'm waiting the chairman for the governing party say. He say to prepare itself to secure victory at all cost in the 2028 elections. At all cost. The intent or desire of every political party that for win elections. Alex, you can set up a political party today. The next day, if they ask you to win, they say yes. Yeah, but let's start with the comment itself. We don't see over and again. Just recently, political parties, the 2 major political parties they find them because of statements or comments where, in some cases, party leadership officials or supporters wiki they make. And for me, I appreciate Elba in definition, but I think it goes beyond that. Because if you did try for energize the base, they say at all cost. When you say at all cost, it means even beyond the legal framework. And for me, that is a problem in itself. Yeah, we know the background to Pauper. We know how people push them, and we see how elections happen. We see what happened 2023, for instance, Alex, we still get people that dispute the last elections. We still frustrated with the outcome because of how things be happen. And I guess Elba said we agree with this, that to the point that if we talk about moving to the next general elections, then we begin make them kind of comment here that we for try make sure we win the elections at all costs. I mean, you don't tell your supporters, say, fear not, whatever happen, we the be owner, we'll provide you with the guidance or the direction una need, but we need for make sure say we win. You know, you desire assassin for win, but let us also do it within the framework we are acceptable. If somebody say we will make the country ungovernable, it's not different from saying at all cost, let's make sure say we win elections. Again, the wish of every political party not for win, at least in Elba, say he talk on the chances for the next elections. We all know what's in the happen at the country. We all know to strangers now. So much that happen, yes, in terms of development, we dey see some efforts. For me, one way I go repeatedly, they say that the fact that today the space open for the media, much as to some extent you see like they shrink. The Gender Empowerment Act, you know, these are good things we happen, you know, where I feel say we will commend the government, in whatever way you look at them. For me, from a gender point of view, these are good things. However, we know the economic difficulties of this country, Alex. For let you get light in some areas, it's a problem. These are you see, these are small things, but it means something. We all know the dollar to the leon to the italic. The Kush crisis, it take a whole council, for instance. We see the efforts where at the city level where the council put for push a national response. To an extent, if you ask somebody, if you say feed saloon, possibly go tell you Kush saloon. These are realities. When they see young people that they die, we get a lot of young people that we don't die out of Kush. When they talk about drugs in this country, whilst it's good for go after people with the imports, for instance, Kush, or with the sell them, make we not also forget, we get a very big case of global attention. Somebody there we they see they need. You understand? So these are things we, for me, we know in any way we ignore. Elba talk about education, free quality education. Is it really producing us what we want in terms of quality? We don't see situations where picking they see to us. If you don't succeed, the chance for a receipt they become a problem. These are all things where they take into perspective. So whilst you say there has been, performance based, a lot they happen, make we also not forget, see there are lots of weaknesses. Yeah, right, yeah. To the extent we get picking today, we get picking we get picking today, where if not to be called them come on our good homes, when they sit to us once, they not succeed, they not go the next time. Most cases now they end with belly, they become pregnant. And this is not the kind of thing they look for. We talk about human capital development. Human capital development, they will get a lot of young people push. They drive along the streets, they see young people there. You know, so let's be serious about the things we say. I think for me, that is key. It's not just about, a paper we say, oh, this now the data, this now which we don't do. Let's be realistic. Let's go back. What's now the cost of a bag of rice today as we talk? Also, I've been there 10 years ago or 7 years ago, and waiting at the cost today, waiting at the rate of the dollar today, it's $2,360,000 per $100. This was not the case years ago. The rest was below 250,000 or so. Today it's over 700, if I'm not lying. How the average man, a Kailau, and a Kenyan have been called they survive. We care about anything here, Elba. You know, so whilst you say power we for win elections, also know say they set the tone for other political leaders to follow suit. You get another political leader from one party we not even create the impact. They come and say whatever it take, if we not win elections, we know they accept. We listen the other day, the opposition party say if things not go way the way they expect, they will not accept the outcome of the results. And we also don't see them in fine political parties. For me, waiting at the difference from that kind of statement here. So we get responsibility. I think this is where the media comes in. Sometimes how you communicate the message and how you portray them becomes a problem. Because you go see them is small, but if you begin set the tone, see at at all costs, whatever it take me for win the election, the base way they talk so, not forget, this na base where they across the country, from Bo to Kailau, Freetown, they don't listen to you. Not so. Is either you tell them, say, when election time come, whether the result genuinely we lost, we not for accept. We've seen situations in the sub-region, Alex. Before we start off, we get a conversation on the sub-region, also so. We see what happen Guinea-Bissau. At the 11th hour, the president say it lost elections. A twist. And this is almost the same complaint people they get about what happened. So, I mean, the last elections, we also need to be saying things today. We really the point to something that genuinely, if I lost, are ready for accept. And if I win, whosoever lost, also genuinely ready for accept. But if we begin set the base and say, look, at all costs, we need for win the elections, whosoever they also contest, they come back and begin telling base. And elections are not won, or we know they get instability just the day of elections. It is start now, and this is what we're seeing. And if you're in governance, show that level of leadership, as we expect in every other political party. But if you're in governance, I think it be hold on you for lead that kind of way. With utterances sometimes can be interpreted in many ways.
Yeah, briefly on that. The senior colleague mentioned, you highlight many things. We, of course, like as stated, still acknowledge the fact that there are challenges as a country, because you, Daniel Atiri, contentious of all presidents, they acknowledge this dozen times in public statement and all of that. My colleague make mention of the last election. The last election, of course, you get some few people within the opposition we been build a narrative about the outcome, and without backing that up with any iota of evidence, then which is sad, because now then we need for discourage. In 2012, the president being firmly believed that Enobi lost the election genuinely, but he called the president and accept him and move on as a country. But ever go begin set the agenda for begin propagate divisive messages, dangerous messages that he win the election in the Ruga. You understand? So that, and of course, there has never been no evidence to show on the contrary from voting neck issue out, we then declare the result. APC, like I say, they don't talk a dozen times. Their supporters, some of their executive members in their meetings, that for them the 2028 election is a must. What do they mean? So most times, it is important that we look at the meaning and the intention of them words they are. Rather, because politicians and they can say, for example, for win this election, that does not mean that them for go do bad or them for rogue or them for do things them out of the way for let them win election. Now the intention, because for example, we all know what he mean for leading a government. Of course, no, not just be shy away from that. Understand? So for example, like when APC in power or opposition 10 years from now, they all want to come back in power. That is just fact. It's natural. Then go for put everything together with them get from make sure say they can power. That should not be misinterpreted as stating that they want to do everything beyond every reasonable doubt.
I want to draw your attention to a comment with the very chairman. You see, I say a bill a premise, and we see a continuation of the comments we make initially. Because if somebody say we've got the police, we've got the military, we've got prison, and all of this, then now they tell you say at all cost we need for win elections. And this they come from the ruling party. I agree with you. The opposition at the time say they win elections. They choose not to go court. A lot of things. I mean, the evidence and all of this. Fine, but if you they're in governance, you say get the police, you get the military, and all of you begin for coming and you begin for backtrack. We see the spin doctors. We are all over the place. Try for explain what that be mean. Just a few days again, they're weary. They say at all costs before win elections. I think what we need for do the message for take is let's push the democratic space to the extent that we for refer to waiting the law say. Tell you people and say let's get ready that we can win the elections, or if you were there in governance, we can lose the elections. Or if you begin tell you supporter and say at all costs we need for win, You prepare the mind. And this is not what we want.
Let's just take one
Yeah.
paragraph from the writer Elba. He named Saidu Dumbuya, where they say the national chairman of the ruling Sierra Leone People's Party, SLPP, Sir Jimmy Batilo Songa, has reinforced President Julius Maada Bio's message to the party members, stressing the need for the SLPP to prepare itself to secure victory at all costs in the 2018 election.
Like I say, it just you just take the lead from that statement, which is very, very good. I appreciate the writer for that. You understand? To prepare the minds of SLPP supporters that the 2028 election should be about winning. You understand? Should be a victory at all costs. All costs simply not necessarily mean, like I don't state say, that then for do everything out of the way. For make sure that whether, for example, whether the SLPP lost, then for win by force. No, that is not what the chairman intended to say. You understand? I can agree. Everybody can get your narrative, but that was never the intention of the chairman. I don't make it clear. It's just like with APC good in party now. Then we say 2020, now must for we. That don't mean say then we'll do something out of the way. Well, we'll wait for see what thing will happen. But I don't just want follow we take them out of context and try for, give perspectives them we go instill fear or go set the tone for future reference that the chairman be don't talk, and all of that, even in the situation where SLPP for win. You understand? Genuinely. So let we just continue for prepare and focus on the intention and the context of the statement there. Quick one. I talk a lot, I highlight issues and a lot about drugs, education for receivers, and the rise of bag and all of that. I don't state there has been no government who don't come in 10 years to solve every problem. That are just the fact. To Yankaba come, it did a lot for this country and it stopped. And Eskrima come for 10 years, everybody, with a very strong foundation. We all know Usai left, you understand? Madabi don't come, INSEF, they come and doing and go. So what you want for understand that? Despite the challenges, let me look at some of the success stories as well. There is no perfect society in the world. Even in the United States, there is no perfect situation. So for the worst, look at the policies you don't make. That might challenge. Mrs. Abimbe, now team we don't they push for make sure say those who they attend to us and get requirements, you understand, they are being allowed for receipts, or they make provision for them for let them for receipt, let them not take time for good. That could be a challenge where the Ministry of Education will look into and try for address. That not to the basis for like generally now or holistically in the educational sector for say no, we don't fail in that regard, for example. You understand? Look at the many success stories and not to just for focus on just one challenge. We get plenty side in this country where school not be the way school not reach. We get plenty. Look at the number of passes at the camp. At the camp. Look at yes, I know. Not for like I know. I understand.
For not
so
some of them
it is not about not to the listeners at the top, the viewers. I did reference you because now you moderate. Now definitely not to the viewers who they talk. You don't understand. Okay. So those challenges are there. Nobody don't deny that. But look at the major inroads we don't make within the sectors there. Drugs. Just like the previous emergencies we don't get before, you understand, and how the governments don't fit to the emergencies they head on. I believe we have seen commitment from this government and the security sectors for make sure we fed push importers, the retailers, and even the one that we the smoker. You understand? We've seen massive commitment from government in that particular regard for fight drugs, no doubt about it. Then the rise of bag. Come on, even if I will tell you, even if it were APC in government, you understand, the bag of rice would not have been around 30,000 nowadays. You understand? Because seemingly of the global challenge and the international factors, we don't affect production, we don't affect trade generally, and not to no more the price of, the problem is if na say no more, for example, if fuel go up, rest go up, na salon no more affect, you could have blamed that on the government, probably for incompetent policies. But if you go to Liberia, you understand, it's the same. You go to Guinea, it's the same. You go to Ghana, you go to Nigeria, it tells you that most of them commodities are where this government or any other government in West Africa or Africa, not they produce, now import to the importer, they are not able to control the price. You understand? They can only come in to ensure that they're able to reduce them by engaging the importers and making flexible import duties or taxes, you understand, so that they go for selling at an appreciable and affordable price. But for example, barrel of fuel. Now, Salon government they determine how much they sell, and not only produce fuel, not only produce, not only determine the cargo for crowd fuel in this country, but we get indicators. Oh, don't set. You understand? So if for any time we get in situation, we engage the import, and we've done that successfully over the years for make sure say we put prices them at a level where people can go for afford them.
So John is in for disagree with.
Elba, the rice. This is not blaming government. You go for again your utterances or your commitment for March to wait till they happen. We talk about feed salon.
Yeah.
You say you're not going to be able to determine, you're not going to be able to reduce the price. Waiting feed salon really they do in the last 7 years or so. Not to follow your answer now. You try for respond to the issue we go for doing drugs. Yeah, we've seen the commitments. We see at the highest level, we see the president begin for move. And again, thanks to Freetown City Council, now they really, I go say that they were like the whistleblowers, partners, right? Yeah. Partners, they be the whistleblowers in all of this. We see government react. I mean, sometimes avoid a fire brigade kind of PR where the fire don't catch and they say they see fire force, they come and all of. There would have been a lot of things the government for do. We don't see this. Unfortunately, we come back and try to politicize everything, and say, oh, it started way back in 2014. I mean, we let's move beyond this. Kush not a crisis. It can affect me indirectly. Fine, but again, you imagine the international damage we cause you travel with a Sierra Leonean passport. They tell you about the guy from Holland, they see the fena, no, we are there. What has been done? These are things, let me come, not to follow you respond, but these are things where we also need for take into perspective. Yeah. When you talk about winning elections, just also know we get international players who also they watch and see what they happen. We hear a lot of things and go say, oh, they don't arrest this person with cocaine, they don't arrest somebody in an airport. These are not the things really for be proud of. For me, where you count the gains in 7 years, these are parts of the gains we also take into account. Anyway, you understand? No, please hold on. I gave you time. You understand, Elba?
They go make exception win the 2028 election.
The elections now, people get for votes. The voters out there. Let me come, Alex. Alex, people don't get for votes. The desire of the opposition are for win elections. The ruling party tells you they go win. Let them go to the polls and see. But again, create the level playing field. Yeah. For win elections or for rigged elections, not they happen just the day for elections. We see the last election, there are places where voting not starts at 2 p.m. How do you call that credible? How can you refer to those elections as being credible? For instance, you go to a village, voting materials not reach till late in the day, 2 p.m. Some places there, party agents they not allow them. We had those stories, for instance, in Pujol. And we say those were credible elections. You understand? So when you set the base, if you begin to say at all costs we for win elections, and somebody say we get the military, we get the police, we get fire force, and we come back and backtrack and say no to this will be mean. Now Elba, my colleague, they now tell we say no to this the chairman Mimi. As a comms professional, probably you also need for they go to the drawing board and guide. Because once you make a statement, it's subject to a lot of interpretation. You understand, eh? Winning elections, the people get for votes, create the level playing field, do waiting right. Thank God they see a lot of things, the opposition, civil society, create a level playing field, allow civil society for excel, let them get their space, let the media be seen operational, not get a set of media. No, let me come. We always see what happen. You understand? The space is there, but it is shrink at some points. It is see what happen. And this is not what we want as a country. You too. The media space is there.
For those journalists, we know we get a responsibility. Yeah, on this we get a responsibility.
I also make a quick disclaimer. Say I invite you now to talk on as journalists. Yeah. So, in our opinion, they reflect on institution, on an institution on a day.
Alright.
And they also for when they talk as journalists, when I get a free will for say what you want to say.
Thank you.
The person no affiliate or associate to now
So that's why, that's why I told
so you can continue.
Adaime Patel Elba say, when you say the space is open, I agree, the criminalized libel, but you come with the law, we also not even, you will just say why we not being, I mean, realistically, we see it happen. If you talk today, the next day, you get the cyber law, then will tell you, say, we need in our CID. This is not the free space where the media need, Elba.
You believe the space not
The space is there, but it shrink. And
No,
this is,
actually,
I mean,
actually,
the existence of the cyber law, for instance, you happy with that? Probably no. You've been a lawyer.
Actually, I don't feel say.
So you don't believe the space is shrink?
No. In fact, we don't develop policies. We don't unshackle massive potential within the media space in this country. Look at the number of TV stations and radio stations where they open now. You understand? Look at the freedom we journalism get for doing work. What in me, colleague, they misconstrue or they misconcept here, now that we get a responsibility as well as journalists for the professional journalism. Everybody get right for lay in name be protected. It'll take you how many years it don't take you for a Billy professional career? Me too, you don't take from college days, you understand, to date. It will take one journalist just because of ill intention or unprofessionalism for tarnish that reputation that we don't work for more than 10-15 years to the bill. So we should be responsible as well. So what you mean they try to say here is, in as much as John one for believe say the cyber security law na a ploy probably sometimes for limits, or for censor the media space, we may disagree with to a very large extent. Let's also look at the good aspect of the law. How many people right now would suffer as a result of cyberbullying? How many people don't suffer as journalists in hand because of personal vendetta? Wouldn't they blackmail using their space for blackmailing people? And how many? Then they boku. So if you look at, and most times if I follow look at this issue by individual cases by case basis. Do you understand? If a particular journalist is arrested, let us look at what the allegation is against that journalist.
When you arrest,
at the camp.
Please, when you arrest a journalist, it creates, what it don't mean.
No, I know, there is no justification.
When you do bad,
they've arrested journalists across the world.
The points I'm making is if you say you decriminalize libel,
they've arrested journalists. No, they are not beyond reproach. They are not beyond reproach.
You create a law, the cyber law.
That's the point.
And this not to the space this way you need for practice. It exists fine.
No. You can practice.
What I've done.
Have you ever been arrested?
The loopholes that they give you.
Have you ever been arrested, sir?
Performance. These are the loopholes we give you.
Have you ever been arrested, Alex?
Because
you practice professionally.
I mean,
that is the point.
You get a lot of loopholes. You call them challenges. I tell you about the economy. I tell you about rights.
Dixon was taking to this.
As a colleague, you will not be happy with
exactly. You understand? We therefore look at the charges where they can bring against most of the journalists there, and we address them by case basis, like I say initially. You understand? But I will tell you as well, even within SLAJ, my senior colleague here, they don't institute reforms after reforms for make sure journalists are trained for do ethical and professional reporting, because there's a challenge even amongst us. That's just the fact. Some journalists will go rogue, and some will just want to destroy the hard-earned reputation of others. So in these circumstances, there must be checks and balances. They are not beyond reproach. They cannot use the media space for destroy the hard-earned reputation of public people because of them in a public space or the PC then get right for rights. I have never been arrested throughout my journalism career because I have practiced professionally. You understand? There is always a two sides to the story. Some people will just write one side. They're under the guise of allegation, and then don't cause untold damage and suffering in the lives of professionals and this country. So, if you tell me, me go tell you, if the repeal of the Part 5, even the journalists themselves advocated for the act to be reviewed because it was considered the IMC Act as a toothless bulldog by then. So if we are actually taking the Part 5 out, let us repeal the act and make sure the commission able for act. Now then we even recommend for them get a disciplinary committee within SLAJ for takes a complaint of journalism to that committee and the committee go investigate and come up with a report. Why? Because the SSF knows there is a challenge among journalists, especially with regards to professional reporting. We get yellow journalism. So you cannot just say, no, not just left hand because we cannot just leave it like that. The space should, in fact, right now, you don't say we get challenged with
I really refer to you've never been arrested in your journalism practice and all of this. Let's accept this. Wait till you do, not to mainstream journalism. Now PR journalism. Waiting Dixon, waiting. Let me come. Waiting Dixon, waiting Lamrana, and other journalism and do that independent journalism. We often and again they step on toes and people feel it because they are powerful and go after them. Listen, government they come and go, journalism stays. So this is why when you do in governance, do waiting right. And fine, that is it. And I take you back to the loopholes, you call them challenges. Winning the next elections are the desire of your party or the desire of the opposition. But again, people get for come back and sit there and say, let's look at the scorecards. If we still talk about drugs, we still get somebody now, we're not able to get word for yet. No, honestly, this is serious. Now, until you travel, you see the level at which they watch you with your passport. Some of they travel a lot. You understand? Eh? So this is key. No, downplay them. At that level, all on the defend person, we still somebody go say, oh, we know, not to name this. This is not what we want for the image of a country. Then again, the economy, we all know. I mean, decentralization, we say we committed. 2004, then bring local governance, decentralization process. How is it going? No, how is it going today? As we speak, councils across the country have not got their 2025 allocations. We come from central government. No, let me come. So if you say on the win elections, then you get a small tier. Councils across the country, they pay them 20 from January to date. Money for CAM. Where you say now this way till they come out central government, they go to councils as support, as part of we support to the central.
This is not the first time.
No, not to the first time. No means say for continue.
No, they continue for the from 2018. We have been paying subvention to government.
Is this how you promote decentralization?
These councils, we have other devolved functions within this council, and we've been paying from 2018. So one year delay. Not supposed for overshadow, even though yes and no, they affect at the camp. So that is why if you look at the act, generally, you understand, and even if you travel out of Sierra Leone, local councils all over the world then get rights based on the act, the 2004 as amended local government act, you understand, for letting them generate their own source of revenue. So tell me how many councils, you understand, when they think outside the box, then they collect property tax, then they collect plenty dues, you understand, and then they divide, they get rights for make money on their own. So, we get for also look at the capacity of at the camp, John. Like you talk about the draws, you understand. You get for look at the capacity of the councils as well for serve and then councils they are, especially the individuals. Now, government supposed to give subvention definitely to city councils because of local governance structure we established. Not just city councils, so councils. No, councils. I'm not a city council. I say councils. Yeah. We get plenty of other city councils. We get McKinney City Council. We get Boo City Council. You understand? So government's not irresponsibility, and government not ever shy from that. So having a challenge, nobody talks the 1 year we did not give subvention. Now, good thing, you understand? No, it's not good thing. It's not the making of the government. Probably the government is constrained. You understand? So that is the more reason why most of these councils should be complementing government effort by generating their own source revenue. You understand? Okay. So at the camp, I said, I allow you. On this drugs thing, to a very large, I say, all the travel, Mrs. Anyway, they travel, and we all know, and the government take them very serious. And these are Sierra Leoneans, you understand? So, to a very large extent, before we come and try for politicize the fight against drugs, you understand, where it be say, go know something the Sierra Leone the way they import, whether na party A day or party B day, or whether na from this region you come out, from that region you come out, and you know able to pinpoint the Sierra Leoneans them exactly where they important. That is the more reason why it is important let it get a national
So what
face.
about this Melo Just where the better is concerned about?
So there's for me, you understand, there has been no concrete evidence. So far we don't come. All the thing we see in the media, they come. All the thing we see,
then get somebody who feel bad now.
all the thing.
From T Sheriff.
All what me they say in this particular regard. So far, what me know, as far as me your knowledge can give, allow me for speak on this issue, there has never been any evidence where they suggest say this particular somebody concrete evidence didn't salary this society. The public, the government, the police don't ask members of the public for help for identify and locate this particular person here and then go actually go there and effect arrest. You understand? Okay. So to a very large extent, it's not really about coming here to say A, B, C, D or no. The fact of the matter is it's the evidence where the lead say this man didn't has this is an allegations no more. You understand? As it is at the moment. So government is very committed in fighting Kush. When I don't see. And that another thing where you just blame on the government to government sanction of come na individual Sierra Leoneans.
So you feel
we're very wicked.
Close on this. Yeah. You feel so with all waiting except people don't do. Yeah, I be ask you answer, but I will say ask again. If you say with all waiting except people don't do, with all the challenges, with including the pauper or at all means, not win the 2028 election.
We believe say we don't do so much for win the heart and minds of the people of this country for vote overwhelmingly for the SLPP and give the SLPP another mandate come 2028.
I agree to that.
With all the loopholes, with the failures, with the economy, I mean, struggling, with young people that they die almost every day, with this drug crisis still we see some kind of no clear headway. With the fact that councils are being deprived, they are being weakened every other day. And with the fact again that for later policy left Waterloo reach center of Freetown, the cost are over 60,000. We all know this now. Devolola Day. With all the economic difficulties here, with the reality where we see for like electricity, now like where they go heaven. I think let me come. Like for like electricity now like where they struggle for inherit the kingdom of God, then it means the people really get for no. Let me let's try to be serious with these discussions. No, let me come, my dear brother. It take localize this. That be practical. It take we months. Whilst I lash at the former government for the fact that it will bring lights, for instance, at Devolo, it take months, it take years of advocacy. Liberty, know. I will go. So we get them, which is good. These are now they talk. But again, come in here and say, oh, we win elections, the people get for evaluate. We see the difficulties, my dear bro. We know how things tough. For let you get 60,000 a day for less. So I tell you, UK will make that everything. You understand? No. So let's create the enabling environment. Yeah, Alex. For me, Nami, ask that one day. Create the enabling environment. Allow NEC for be independent. If I for use that word.
Definitely.
Let not see the ruling party. They make use undue advantage. Stop referring to we get the police, we get the military, we get prison. These are not the things we need. If you win elections genuinely, this is what we want. This is what democracy wants.
The SLPP will win the election genuinely. The SLPP will win genuinely.
If NEC, then give the electoral body, the open space, be independent, all do all this.
Under this government, they will always
last election, they announced results. People local still the count.
No. But listen, this in 2012 it happened, right? No, at the camp.
Okay, so the problem is
at the camp. No,
if elections really argue, if they say because it happened 2012,
it was not wrong.
Okay, so I agree with you. Happened 2012. Meaning
it was not wrong. No, not wrong.
You announce elections, come to the ground.
If I don't understand
elections now, some places where
if I don't understand, look at this. Look at this right. You understand? John, look at this right. A pronouncement of the national elections result. You understand? It gets in threshold. getting threshold. When once any political party don't reach that threshold, the other side again, you understand, they can pronounce them, even if they not call all the results. It has happened also before, so it is there by law.
But it's resulted here.
At the camp, it is here by law. No, disaggregated data they want. There is no disaggregated data they want. And there has never been a disaggregated data in Sierra Leone in our political history. There is no law. Let anybody can't tell me, see, NEC is under any obligation for issue out disaggregated data. There's no law where they take it and the fact that, you understand, what you talk about in the election results, the Medipan counts and put local, at that time there was a threshold already to the that was enough to declare a winner.
I know the problem we're having.
No, I just want to follow you.
No, I was asked for a response.
Yeah, I just want to follow you, get that clear. That not to not be wrong.
So let me come back. Let me come back to your question, Alex. Winning the next elections gets a lot of factors. Create the enabling environment, allow political parties for be functional, allow NEC for be operational, not use undue advantage. If you lost, genuinely accept, not announce elections where the entire result not come yet, not begin conduct elections, my man, wait for me, please. Not conduct elections just 2 p.m. when at 7 elections they close. And you do this in specific areas. This is unacceptable. This not waiting democracy require. Democracy require you for be fair. If you lost, you lost. If you win, you a loss, ready for accept and move on. Yeah? But if you begin to do things where they set the pace for rig the next elections or for use undue advantage, then it means we're not ready. We're not growing as a country. The democratic space, we'll go talk in paper, we'll write down in paper rather, talking at the air, but in practical terms, the people will feel disadvantaged. And this is what we want, not what we want. If you want to win elections, do it genuinely.
3 seconds, all over this country. Yeah, NEC don't conduct elections, periodic elections for the longest time now. You know, we all sometimes start for vote 2007, some 202, and all of that. They understand. There has never been a point in time where we don't get challenged with how NEC they conduct elections, especially for assembled materials. You understand? Even in Pujong, and the stronghold of the SLPP, there were reports in 2023 of some polling stations being opening late. You understand? So that day, even though not a challenge, not for override the entire integrity of the elections process. Now this are they say because there are challenges there, we national institutions all get challenged. That's not just fact. You understand? Then we say they get logistics challenge for take from logistics from one destination, maybe because of the road not motorable or challenge, sometimes motorcar break down, and all of them things indeed the natural. But the intention for say it was deliberate, and where them challenges and they not to one side more they affect now all over the country. No, I know.
Don't come here and say it was not deliberate. I expect NEC for don't say no, this was not deliberate.
No, but they explain that.
No, let me come.
They explain that.
If you not say elections will start at 7
all over this country,
plus minus
all over this country, if you say you get 100%,
my man,
it's not possible.
My man, you see what they do so today with the emboldened state institutions for do the wrong thing. No, you've got to be realistic as well. What they do, they embolden NEC for do similar thing again. Let's call them out. Why you conduct elections 2 p.m. now the 10 elections start, then you expect say elections to end
and then make
7
for the future, and then don't improve significantly over the years. Trust me,
let's call them out. We go
conduct 2023.
But let them also
far
know
better than 2018.
You working for government. I don't expect you for say, my brother. You for begin vote 7. You know, they not bring material till 2 p.m. You begin vote 3 o'clock. Then they close election voting 7 o'clock. You call the elections.
Challenges of 2018 and 2020. You know that?
Okay, so back to the point.
So
do
that's
what is right.
For fine.
Then the ruling party
they
will do it right. Improve. They can win. If they play games, then you win.
I mean, them perfect. we only conduct perfect elections. Even within the political parties, they didn't conduct perfect elections.
No. If you say within political parties, they conduct perfect
No, I
elections.
mean, devoid of challenges.
You
I know
still
it's a devoid of
you
challenges.
still build this narrative about winning elections at all costs.
No, not to all costs.
Even
No,
at
no, I
political
don't want
party
to-
level, they conduct genuine
different
elections.
meanings.
And not to the
Not to genuine election. I said devoid of
challenges.
challenges.
No, you say no perfect elections.
No, perfect in the sense that we say you get every material
And we
assembled
expect,
at the
as
time.
Sierra Leoneans, what to expect of NEC? That for make sure say the elections be as credible as possible. Credibility involves conduct elections within the time frame.
Yes.
If you go conduct elections 2 p.m., wait for start 7 in the morning, you disenfranchise a lot of people. You discourage people them. Some man they work a
but
mile
you know,
for
you know,
vote.
say, you know, say,
And you
NEC,
can-
you
and
always
you do
extend
this,
time.
You do this. That's
You always know, say,
specific
that's
job.
how they can extend
You do
time.
this at
If you for
specific
close
areas.
5 o'clock, they can extend them to
You
at
do
least
this
1
at
hour.
certain areas.
They've always
Why
done that
it
based
will
on
be
the
that way?
challenges, based on the imagined
These are not
challenges. They will always
These are
expand
deliberate
it.
efforts.
No,
of
they are not.
decentralized- No, they are.
No, they cannot
You've
say.
said no credit, no perfect
There are
elections.
some areas where NEC did not open their polling stations on time because of the road network, the terrain, and stuff like that. They've explained that. They've explained that. They've explained that. No, in villages. No, not to Kailam to talk about. Kailam is the whole district, 14 chiefdoms. Kailam has 14 chiefdoms. You understand? Not all like a good network, a good road network. So what we say here is, we are encouraging them to have a democratic and a very transparent electoral process. No doubt about that. You understand? But the fact of the matter is, we're not going to use these small challenges. You understand? Where go ensue during the course of the electoral process, then you want for override and the for discredit the entire electoral process. That is not only new, not only forced endings to the sea, no, not only forced endings to the sea,
attaining political power, for God's sake,
neck
for
being
crying out loud.
challenged, neck being
If you don't
challenged
allow the civil space,
for
you don't
democratically
allow civil society,
and
you chase neck,
conduct an election with devoid of challenges.
New, for instance, new talk, you say new wrong.
Oh, no,
They say
yeah.
conduct
Allow
elections
just-
7 a.m., you waited 3 p.m. Then you expect
But we
to
should
go
not be
announce
also
results and say that a
insensitive to the
reflection of the
challenges.
entire country. That's not what we need as a
Let me look
country.
this next front page of Night's Watch. MP calls 2026 budget unrealistic. You believe so the 2026 budget unrealistic?
I mean, for call the figures good. How do we get the funds? I work NRA, yeah, because when we talk about domestic revenue, bulk of it come from NRA. We all know this, right? We see some we see some actions we happen. We see NRA they move in terms of enforcement. They chase people. We see it they happen at the port. You import container. You pay. I mean, tens of thousands of leons. All these are parts of efforts at the level of central government for get the required funds for able to run the country, which is good. But I've got a problem. I try to look at the figures. And Elba, you want to guide us on this. I see the budgetary allocation. So, for instance, the office of the chief minister, which is almost the same to that of His Excellency the Vice President. Then you look at other, no, let me come. Then you look at other ministries. With all fairness, they need resources. If I were to determine, I would tell you, say, give 40% of the entire budget to local councils through the Ministry of Local Government. The reason this is not possible, but if I just say you prioritize the needs. If we say development they happen if we start at the lowest level, this means that the councils therefore in power across the country. Let me come. So empower the decentralization process. Get Ministry of Local Government, forget the resources. Get the decentralization secretariat, forget what they need. Get the 22 or 23 or so local councils, the resources we they need. If you look at the devolution process of some countries, take the sub-region or the continent, compare it to what they happen here, we talk, I mean, with the right time, we will talk, but in practical terms, I get problem with allocating huge or billions of leons to a ministry, or for instance, say the office of the chief minister. Then when you look, you will say Resmina, McKinney, or Resmina, the South, no, they do much. But these are ministries. They also deserve forget something, not so. So it good forget the figures, but how realistic are they? How do we get the funds? So this takes me again to the point where Elbabi they make say, I dey advocate for the councils because I know what decentralization mean. If we get them right as a country, the pressure they get at central government level, they be reduced so much. Yeah. So
other people that don't raise by this budget, the NDM, is it that drug?
Fine. So I'm coming.
Very small.
We see the other day the gentleman say even for buy bicycle and not get funds. And today we don't get a budget reading, 2026 budget, waiting at the allocation to the National Drug Enforcement Agency. Waiting at that one day.
And for sanitary pad. Waiting in the drug
fine.
law.
So it mean we know they prioritize we need. If we say government committed for fights against drugs, which is good. Now this we need, me man. We know I don't want to see me small brother they suffer out of drugs. If I get 4 siblings, then I see 1 or 2 or almost all they take drugs, it affects me. But how do you address that? The institution is responsible. Make we capacitate her. But the other day the man say we for buy. Much as yes, now I think a gentleman and maybe get a gift to go parliament and get some heavy vehicles, them expensive
with the immigration.
And I read the other day saying, yeah. So
then the picture
you
come
don't get
out with
money.
this Bello Johnson and the accuracy.
I know I'm going to that. But the reality is, until we capacitate with institutions, until we put with commitment into reality, into practical terms, and they tell you if you say the fat drugs, we might will continue for run out and then people then are put now, then jump out waiting, and then we left the real pictures out there. And this sort of waiting we really look forward to the country.
The budget realistic or unrealistic?
Well, for me, it might be realistic if they will get the resources. We know the development partners also get a role. Now, we will continue for commend the role of development partners they play now with development trajectory as a country. Because say what you may if the EU, the World Bank, the UN not coming and support. If you talk about maternal mortality with the heritage, the numbers don't go down, the number of women where they die, where they go born. We know what UNFA, for instance, don't do over the years. We know what WHO they do. These all are parts and parcel of the development process. But again, let us look at how we allocate resources. A good for give money to help buy if you achieve.
So the budget not realistic.
But also not equate. The office of the vice president, chief minister, that was the same.
It's not realistic.
Until I see the funds, until we see the money.
So now you make it a clear example. Clear example of the what they give for sanitary pad, what they give to the drug law agency, what they give to the vice president's office, to the chief minister's office, to the president in travel and all that. Day. Looking at other key sector like the agricultural sector, food salon, where everybody is concerned. You talk about the local government ministry, how local government ministry struggle. Look at all this allocation. And with this member of parliament, they said the budget not realistic. You didn't line with the member of parliament.
Well, I might want to agree because when we allocate so much to some, I know in our parts of the president in duty for travel, make case, help for bringing the goods who need, portray the country in a good light. But the level at which the travel, these are all things we also need for look. You give 1 billion to this man, then the other might give 100,000. Then you expect this man for fed drugs. No, come on, we are not serious. So let's go back. Look at what we get now coffers. Because when you say you need 3 trillion, for instance, for around the country, it means say you don't ask NRA, you've got to go chase the business people. And when you chase the business person, the impacts they go to the end user. Because if you bring you goods, if they sell this for 1,000, when you get a tax pressure or pressure on customs, you go sell, you get for increase the price. Then if I need I just get for buy.
Well, they are also concerned about the disaster agency, management agency, where of course only get a lot of disaster. They not on prioritizing budget. But now with all this,
we don't see where disasters are.
You say realistic.
We don't. I answer your question with instances. We don't see situations at this country disaster they occur. We get the private sector for which is good. if a good, forget private sector involvement, support, yeah. But I think the first response really for be from central level. And central level forget some dedicated funding, like a basket fund. The other day, host for Donna Congo Tong last year. I know, I was there. I see the struggle. Just that immediate response. We need fuel, we need this. You understand, eh? Host for Don Kisi, you get in situations and they. But you go get somebody to travel, they go out, they tell you, say, you know, yeah, no. I'm so.
Come to Elba. Elba, a member of parliament, they say the 2026 budget not realistic.
Well, yeah, deliberately I decided for remain quiet, at least for allow John for land properly. So on the budget, first of all, it is important for note say it is statutory for the Ministry of Finance to prepare the annual budget and present in our parliament and then read them and for approval because they determine, the plan of the country and how the revenue mobilization and which now government in priority areas for generate revenue for run the state. So overwhelmingly we all see we started approve the 2025-2026 Finance Act. And then they also, if you look at some of the areas outside governments, intend for generate revenue and some of the major commodities where government feels say people in the use, and how they waive taxes, import duties on most of the commodities, and they so that the prices will be affordable for people like Africans and other stuff, local commodities. You will find out for realize say it is contrary to this newspaper in view, it is contrary to the MP in view that the 2026 budget is not realistic. It is realistic, it is achievable, and that has been the way this government don't able for implement the generate revenue, support MDAs, and implement government priority programs across the country which got locally generated revenue in Sierra Leone. You understand?
But listen to Johnny.
I listen to
Johnny again. For example, you get the sanitary pad with a huge money, about $12,000, 12,000 million.
12,000 million.
Million, yes. That only million, so not to almost billion.
John know the process. At the start of every financial year, at the close or end of every financial year, all MDAs, the Ministry of Finance, you always call them now finance for letting them do budget hearing. You don't cover budget hearing plenty times, you understand? And the people, the MDAs can present them budget to the Ministry of Finance. And based on them budgets, then the Ministry of Finance can approve funding for them. Granted, yes, that there are some ministries, for example, John Sesano said they are Class A ministries, based on the mandate and the role they play, how they align with the government in agenda for deliver for the people. You understand? Now, so definitely government get for example, in the first 5 years, we compare the funds we go to education when have been government in priority areas. You understand? Than to other sectors, for example, because that have been the priority. You understand? So you'd expect more funds are going to be allocated to the education sector, for example, than other sectors, because not to the priority at a given time based on the national agenda of the president. You understand? Now, so them funds then they will be allocated to the ministry based on the individual roles so they give a play for realize that agenda day. Now, this second term, the feed salon project, you understand? You see the kind of way government and they concentrate with support from partners. John mentioned this country, yes, we don't enjoy so much support from partners. The IMF did it, the DFID did it, the World Bank did it, the European Union, they are all partners to Sierra Leone. And we feel say we don't work enough for gain them confidence, for let them continue to stay with we and work with we and put we into a program unlike what we've been in the past, you understand? Especially coming closer to elections. Recently, we all on the see globally, the money they waiting they approve, some na grant, some na loan in various sectors within government. That is show you the level of confidence we then get for work with Sierra Leone. So the 2026 budget, in terms of allocation, MDAs will submit their budget, and that is how the Ministry of Finance will now approve allocations to these MDAs, and as well as aligning the functions of those MDAs based on the national agenda of the president for develop for the people. You understand? So now, so for say, yes, I agree. There are some institutions where they get less, some they get more, but all based on the agenda where the president gets and which ministry they take the lead in the implementation of the agenda then they. You understand? Now so then the Minister of Finance go allocate funding. It make reference to the Chief Minister office. To a very large extent, you know, the Chief Minister, if you look at not to the individual now, if you look at the office itself, providing supervision for all ministries and MDAs, we get plenty. I'm not going to tell you the exact amount of department and agencies we did directly under the office of the president, but then plenty. And Chief Minister also they provide monitoring and supervision for most of them across the country. Now the principal, I want to say assistant to the president.
Oh, really?
Not what I mean come, not to the no, constitutionally the vice president after the president, the vice president. No, they come principal in the sense that on supervising the ministries. You understand? That's not the role of the chief minister. It's not they help government, the president also for make sure say align the president in vision and manifesto promises with all of the institutions there. So that it will keep them on track for make sure say they implement on the president's agenda. That's the major role of the minister. You know, say it's not an easy job to do. Yes, the money go seem high, but until you did at the office of the chief minister, you go before understand say yes, it gets a very difficult and a very tedious tax for undergo, and that most of them money and the way they go so until you did it, go for no the funds so it require for it move and implement most of them supervisory rules and the you understand across. So it is not about comparing the office of the vice president and the office of the chief minister. For me, I think say it is finance is deliberate based on the needs and based on the budget submitted. You understand at the time. Possibly sometimes this month or this particular quarter they can give you less, then give you the high. So suddenly they give some quarter they need and they give less, then give high based on the need and the priority at the time. So on that day I will talk. I want to tell you say they happen based on allocation. It is not that they are disenfranchise anybody or any institution or any MDA. You understand? No, that is never the case. The funds are being disbursed based on the priority needs at the time and the budget way they may don't prepare prior to the beginning of the financial. Yeah, sure. Of course, you know that.
Somebody said it's a killer budget.
No, that's not true. Killer budget? How is it the killer budget? How is it the killer? How is it the killer budget?
So far,
come on, the ordinary people. The prices of commodities. No, before you come, John, because what in Alex say the prices of commodities. Of course, this government don't try very hard. For introduce formula system, for example, for rice, cement, and other commodities, engage importers consistently in ensuring that we keep prices affordable as best as we can given the circumstances. You understand? Because you cannot do beyond the current circumstance. We've done that, and you see how we done of course, inflation, the countdown, and there are a lot of indicators where they should say we are doing well in terms of, bringing prices of commodities down.
Elba, let me read directly from what's in the newspaper say. In his estimation, Honorable Jallo pointed out even when the total domestic revenue and external grants are put together, the government can only raise 25.9 billion in 2026, as against government's projected expenditure that stands at 30 billion.
Right.
Now, I see why the person say not realistic.
Okay.
If your revenue, what they generate is 1 billion, they want to spend 7 billion. Realistically, how is that possible? How that go happen? You say it's a pro people budget. Pro. Yeah. They say the prices of commodities and all of this. Elba, you dey go na market.
Yeah.
Elba, hold on. You get a family.
Sure.
Elba, you dey pay fee for your pikin. Not so.
Yeah.
You go. I dey tell you. Probably we all twisted our picking at private school, let it go. Now private school picking go, right? Why you not put picking at government school? You know why? The government schools, no they get waiting they forget. Me not put me picking there because I don't mind I pay more, I get the service, I get the education where I want me picking there. Government schools also say that no one do them, but waiting at the facilities. So when you say, oh we care, oh they do we best. The best is not enough. Yeah? Go back, provide the funding where schools need, government schools. Provide the support where MDs need. This is not about the person who occupy the office, as you rightly say, but how can you give more to the chief minister's office, almost the same to that of the vice president? And thank you that you clarify, say, he's not the principal assistant, actually the vice president. You understand, eh? Monitoring MDs, the vice president can do it. We don't see this before. They just create the office of the chief minister as recent as 7 years, right? Let's look at the budget. Let us be realistic. Waiting NRA go able generate within a reasonable period. But if you come and say this is what we need and that this is forgive it, we go back to the pauper mentality. We go back to the at all cost mentality. No, this is it. Now, we get long way for go. I agree. Challenges, yes. But if you left that man where you say you want fake drugs, where you go to office, you don't even get desk and chair, for instance, announcing that they happen, then waiting at the seriousness, waiting at the commitments, how will you put the commitment into practical reality? You go down customs, you see what people they go through for import goods. I mean, then you go now to the end user where you go buy Yabas, up to Yabas with the importer. Yes, we go to do them, we produce. You say feed salon, waiting at the production level, Toma boom, we hear about time. Waiting they happen. You understand? When we they talk, let's be practical. Let we also probably don't reach them. Elba, if we meet again, bring with the data. Let's speak to the data. Because if you say you don't, in terms of access to education, for instance, go in villages. We don't see you side picking away doctly, we don't go to school. By the time they come out, they learn nothing. And these are government schools. But you go to the private school, you picking, where me picking daughter they go at 7. In grammar come from Kono, he listen that picking they read. He not believe. Yeah. He say no, because at that level, it get the attention. This is not happening at government school level. But so law capacity Ministry of Education, the primary, law supports them. Let them also able go down and give the support to the schools. Right. Until we do that thing and they tell you it go be problem for you. When you say you need 30 billion for invest, make sure for spend, make sure say you get 32 billion. If I tell you they go spend 2 million, me and Alex will go outside, they go spend 2 million. I thought you will get 2.5. So at least I get some to they go back. Yeah. But if you know they're not unrealistic projections.
So 1 minute. Sure. So the analogy actually not to the same context, because then are your individual pocket. But when you plan a budget for a country, it's quite different. You understand? So let's just get that right. All over the world, I mean, they call it a projected budget. You understand? That now this will be project for spend or generate. And we, John also forgot for your life, we get development partners. We can come up with grants and other partners and the way they come in for actually cushion, you understand, them small gap in the. So if government say, for example, we able for we project say we able for raise 26 billion, then we need 30 billion. That 4 billion they don't project say the one way they come up from grants and partners, you can fill that gap already. You understand? These are experts, we don't do that please. And so then they project more expenditure all over the world. They project say they spend more than what you generate, hoping that you will forget partners so they come inside. We get a lot of grants so they come inside. Then I want, it make mention of private school and government school. No doubt in this country. From not to now it starts. From time immemorial. The private schools, you understand, private schools always don't do well, you understand, than government schools. Nobody denied that, you understand. But look at the effort this government put into enhancing the efficacy of the public schools across the country. How many teachers government can in Peru we don't approve from 2018 to date? You mean how many of them? At the camp, it plenty. No, the data. No, at the camp, I can't. No, I can't. At the camp. No. Every year, if we don't add past 3 times. Wait something and 3,000, so now 1,500 and 2. I will give you that data. But the good thing that I just want to let you know, say there has been an addition of teachers. Now the government payroll, where government pay, then a commitment and the government approve plenty teachers we not being get pink we don't volunteer for the longest time. You understand? Yeah, sure. You understand? Okay. No, sure. Government don't increase salary because the problem we people they always misunderstood. salary increment like that. For example, like the teaching sector, if you say they increase 5 million salary, then they run into trillions because of the number. You understand? Because of the number. So then no government they go can promise themselves that government in a lie go lie by you. Say I can't increase teacher salary by 200 or 300%. It's not possible because of the number. You understand? And the impact you get on the budget. So let's just get that fact. You understand? So this government don't apply so much effort. We not say the public schools then get challenges. Some of them get infrastructure challenges, some of them get blackboard challenges, some of them get capacity issues and all of that. And over time, I will tell you, we don't solve most of them problems than how it used to be in the past. And we only see our public school system. You understand that this country going to do very well. Don't begin to from as far as the north, the south, the east, don't they do very well in public exams because of anything in the NDLA, yes. Me now one person will be being very, very concerned. I will want to argue with John that such a national institution for be prioritized, you understand? For fed drugs. Yes, NDME as well, because of the emergency we do, you understand? But like I state earlier, government, they say go for understand it wrong. Government want for give, but like we all know in terms of revenue generation.
Yeah, sure.
If we look at, you understand, government intention. Yeah. And how government they generate and the need and the challenges then for be addressed. You go realize say government now like we face, we look at the priority areas and see how we get everybody along. Yeah.
Right. Well,
So me want to end up and say if they talk about human capital development and ELBA, make we invest in public schools.
Sure.
Yeah. If we say government want to do more or the resources not there, let's check. Let me come. Let's check. No. Okay. They ask. It did, but it's not enough. Lord, check the level, the rate at which they fly and travel. Some trips you get. I've been doing diplomacy for years. Some 10 and day. Yeah, statutory. I agree. But some trips they just get you envoy, your ambassador. If you're going to China or you want to go US, look at them. You understand it? Because when you fly a private jet, it costs way. So until we prioritize we needs, we look at how we expend with resources. And I think it go.
But anyways, we'll come back. I will create a program on politics and the people. Let's bring on back because we just will discuss two topics, and for the very first time we go this far. I see me engineer and they call me. So we go end the effort today. I want to tell you plenty thank you, John Bimba Sese, in a media and communication specialist, and of course Mohamed Elbana, lawyer, media and communication specialist. They're all not journalists, not / member them. So no getting taught differently than they speak like journalists. So me don't be Alex Lawrence Kuma. They say plenty thank you to Sauko mining team who make us see with this afternoon. We'll go there back next week for continue the discussion. The young men they also will get in another program possibly and look at politics broadly and we'll get better discussion as we continue for the look at Tindemudi and Bog development in this country. Until then, get yourself a blessed weekend.
For the news we dey around, log into Liberty TV online. Positively we bring the change. They get the masses involved. Stars them everywhere. We climb the mountain just to get the news. We go down the slums to get the views.